Hello, and if you're anything like me, you spend way too much of your life watching onboard videos on YouTube. So today, I'm doing a video all about it, specifically my top 10 onboard videos. I found a column I wrote for Motor a few years ago now on this very subject. So I thought, why not turn it into a video? The catalyst for that was the footage of Glenn Seaton in 1987 at Bathurst in the wet, which I posted on Instagram one day, and a colleague said they hadn't seen it. And me and others were incredulous that you haven't seen that, iconic footage. So it got me thinking, and I thought I'll put together a list of the top 10 onboard videos everyone should know. Hopefully you'll know a couple of these videos because they're pretty famous, but maybe there'll be a couple in there that you've never seen before. But most importantly, if I've missed out one, because there are hundreds I could have put on this list, put it in the comments because I want to watch it, I want to see it. Let me know why it should have been on this list. So these aren't in any particular order, but these are the top 10 onboards you need to watch. So we start with one of the most famous of them all, which is Fascination Nurburgring. Stefan Rosa in Yellowbird, ragging the thing to within an inch of its life at the Nurburgring in the 80s. Crazy bit of footage, amazing car control. Famously, he's doing it wearing loafers. And this car would be just so hard to drive. Narrow body, massive horsepower, massive lag. I think it's probably a 5-speed box. But even so, tall gearing, having to go back to first, and he's just driving the thing on the absolute limit. So that's a good place to start. There is heaps of different clips, but I think on the official RUF site, there's a proper 21-minute version, the original version. That's well worth checking out. There's also a modern version, more modern version. They did using a 996 BTR, I think, which has got very similar sort of driving, oversteer everywhere, and it's fantastic to watch. So, second up we have another Nürburgring video. This is from a short-lived series that was on the Drive network, you might remember, probably 10 years ago. It's called Driver's Eye, and this is called Rain Dance. It's Lee Keen, helmet cam from the Nürburgring 24 when there was horrendous conditions, and it's just one of the most terrifying onboard videos you'll ever watch. It really captures how scary it would be to drive any car, but particularly a front-running car, in the rain, in the fog, in the cold, having to go past lap traffic, all the while, you know, driving as fast as possible, headlights flashing. It can be very difficult to capture the atmosphere in an onboard, but this video really does a good job of it. Next up, we have the video from which Rain Dance took its name, Climb Dance. Surely you've all seen this, but just in case. This is actually a critically acclaimed film. It won awards at Cannes, I think, in 1988 or 89. Anyway, Ari Vartinen setting the Pikes Peak record in the Peugeot 405 T16. Just the most incredible display of driving skill. This is not long after Ari had returned to competition after his horrible accident. So he had a huge accident in 1985 in Argentina. Almost killed him. Spent the next 18 months fighting all sorts of mental and physical battles. Came back in 1987. So, you know, he hadn't long been back in the saddle, and he just drives a 600 horsepower, 900 kilo car up Pikes Peak, the old Pikes Peak, in whatever it was, about 10 minutes. Just over 10 minutes. Next up we have another video from the Driver's Eye series. Mads Ostberg in the Citroen DS3 testing. Again, it's a video, it can be really hard to capture the violence and speed of a WRC car. But this video does it better than any other video I think I've ever watched. And this is, you know, one of the old slow cars before they got 400 horsepower and hybrid and all that, and big wings. This is just a 2015 or 2016 car, but such a good example of the skill of a top-line WRC driver and the punishment the cars and the occupants take on your typical WRC stage. I think it's in Sardinia. So tight, twisty, but he's constantly in 4th, 5th, 6th gear. Very, very scary if you're in the car, but awesome, awesome to watch. Staying with the off-road theme, this might be a video that people haven't seen. It's the first 5 minutes of Robbie Gordon in the Baja 500 in 2009. So he's in a trophy truck, Class 1, I'm not sure what they call them, I think they're called T1 now, but Class 1 trophy truck. It's just after the start line I've taken this little snippet of footage. You have to watch the whole thing, the speed, just the risks he seems to be taking, just the engine singing away, 3, maybe 4, but I think 3-speed automatic gearbox. Watch the whole thing because I think it's this clip. At the end, he basically overtakes someone, he catches the car in front, takes what, 2 minutes off them or something, and basically overtakes them by jumping over them. So, how they drive like this for 9, 10, 12 hours, I've no idea, because after 5 minutes, you'd be absolutely cooked. Another iconic bit of footage, which starts with, which isn't often seen, Senna doing a massive single pegger in the NSX-R. And then the classic footage, more footwear footage, like Stefan Rosa and his loafers. We've got Senna and his brogues as he misses a gear shift. No one's perfect. Again, what can you say? Just awesome bit of footage. Unassisted steering, no helmet, just driving the thing on the absolute limit. Fantastic example of his famous throttle blip technique. There's another bit of NSX onboard footage which I'm about to show, which I think is actually even better. It's from a lesser known DVD, but I think the footage is actually even better. You don't get the foot cam, but it's, I think, earlier during development testing at Suzuka again, full track this time, and just driving on the absolute limit, so far over the limit. But it's an amazing way to see Senna's driving technique, and what I love about it is his technique is awful. Like, he's sitting way too far back, hands wrapped around the thing, sort of nice and calm, jabbing away at the throttle. Like, if you got in and drove like that with a driving instructor, they'd tell you to go back to pits immediately. But he's probably the best driver there's ever been, so suck it. If it works, it works. Awesome bit of footage. Now back to the Nurburgring for Incar 956. This is a DVD everyone should have seen. They strapped a camera into Derek Bell's Porsche 956 during the 1983 season, I think. Had a whole bunch of iconic racetracks. This is at the Nurburgring, the old Nurburgring obviously, where Stefan Belloff set his famous 6 minutes 11 lap record. Just a super, super fast car on a really, really scary racetrack. You have to marvel at the bravery of these guys that drove these cars, because it wasn't easy. Nürburgring's fantastic, but lots of tracks are great. Spa's great. Kyalami is actually one of the best ones, because you can see you've got the camera behind Derek, and he's power sliding the thing everywhere. Le Mans is obviously really, really good as well, the high speed. So if you haven't seen Incar 956, check it out. It's fantastic. Another perhaps lesser known one, this is taken from a Max Power VHS called Beasts from the East, which I watched when I was a teenager, probably 20 years ago now. More, 25 years ago now, gosh. Max Power magazine went to Japan, I think the late 90s, and filmed a whole bunch of crazy cars, just strapped in, didn't speak the language, and they did an awesome video. And one of the coolest ones they did was with Smokey Nagata, doing 330 k's an hour in the Tokyo Tunnel in the infamous top secret R33 GTR, which I think a single turbo, had 900 horsepower or so. You gotta love the poor photographer snapping away to get the crucial shots for the magazine in the passenger seat. Photographers can be expendable. But yeah, awesome bit of onboard footage. Not a super, not really an onboard footage per se, but awesome bit of footage, well worth checking out. It's also, I think the full VHS is on YouTube, so check out, there's some really, really cool cars there. Next up, second to last, is Initially in my column I had, it was more about videos per se. I had Ken Block's Gymkhana 1, which again was a great bit of onboard footage, great bit of footage. But I had to put in Kenny Brack in the GT40 from Goodwood Revival. You can't describe this footage, just, it wouldn't be an easy car to drive. A bit like the Stefan Rosa Nurburgring footage. And it's just a perfect example of why elite racing drivers are elite racing drivers. The car control, the confidence in difficult conditions, in a difficult car, and that's why he's probably 10 or 15 or 20 seconds faster in these conditions than the amateur drivers who are really, really good drivers, but they're not Kenny Brack. And being a Swede, he doesn't mind hanging the tail out. He's happy with the car sliding around. You've seen that in other footage of him driving McLarens. And yeah, just watch this footage with your jaw open, mouth agape. And now, lucky last, saving the best till last. Probably the most absurd bit of driving footage there's ever been. The late great Colin McRae, Wales, Great Britain 2001. If you don't know, you might have seen this footage, you might not know the backstory behind it. So going into the final round of the 2001 season, 3 drivers, McRae, Burns, and I think it was Grunholm or Mackinnon. One of them. I think it was Mackinnon. We're in with a shout of the title. Basically, whoever won the rally won the title. Or whoever finished first in the rally won the title. So McRae went out and said, I'm just going to win the rally. And you might know that ended up in a massive, massive accident on stage 4. Did a bit too much of a cut, barrel rolled it. But he was leading the rally until that point. But it's funny, this footage is just jaw-dropping no matter how many times you see it. You can't believe a person can drive a car at this speed, on this surface, with this much control, for more than a couple of corners without crashing. But what's remarkable is you'd look at this footage and think he must be 15, 20 seconds faster than everyone else. He wasn't. On this stage he was like 2 seconds faster than Grunholm, a couple of seconds faster than Didier Aurel, another couple of seconds faster than Burns. So it is amazing footage, and it helps with having the typical McRae back it in style. But it's worth remembering all these guys are incredible, and there's fantastic footage of Grunholm and Burns, and I'll do another couple of videos on just WRC footage in the future. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully a couple of videos you haven't seen before. If not, hopefully it's just been a good excuse to watch some awesome onboards. And like I said, if there's any I missed, if there's any that should be in this list, put them in the comments because I want to watch them. So, see you next time, and thanks for watching.